10 minutes. Yes, I think it looks like everyone, there's a few people, everyone is coming back. We should be able to get through all of this in some time to spare.
Are these Ignite classes recorded that we can
Yes.
go back and we
Yes.
could, okay.
There
All right,
are, we have a YouTube channel. If you want, I'll show you just very quickly here how you guys can access them.
Okay.
So we have the training calendar, which is kwhvgrouptraining.com.
Okay.
And go back. Here it is. And if you go to the bottom of the page, you'll see, here we go, KWHV Group YouTube channel. You can click on that. And then we have it set up by playlists. So you're going to look for the Ignite playlist. Here we go, view full playlist. So all the Ignite classes were recorded and you'll find them all here.
Nice. That's
So
nice.
I
didn't know that. I thought it was just like for all like the other ones. I didn't know if Ignite was also recorded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for the beginning of this one, I messed up.
Except the beginning of this one, but
that's fine. I might have to also leave a little early. That's why I was wondering. Okay.
That's fine. You can go. So wait, by tomorrow it should be up. You can go back on and catch up.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're on the slide where it says match the tactics to the counter offer.
This one?
The next one. Yep, that one.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Not bad?
No.
Hot
That
potato?
one. Yep, yeah. I don't know how good we're going to play a game of hot potato, but let's see.
All righty.
Okay. So this basically is we're going to continue. They want us to continue working with a partner, but what we're going to do some tactics they have here for brainstorming. It basically, I'm trying to see how can we do this one? I don't think we could do a game of hot potato here.
Maybe just have somebody go around the board there and we'll just start with somebody.
Okay. So let's see who wants to play a game of hot potato. Let's see who haven't I heard from. Let's see who we have here. Anybody wants to volunteer?
How are we gonna start though? What are we gonna do?
All right, here we go. So you have volunteered.
Hot potato.
We just negotiate.
So basically, first thing, you're going to ask for a concession in return before agreeing to a further concession. So we need somebody to be the buyer, and we need somebody to be the buying agent, and we need somebody to be the selling agent. Rebecca, you want to be the selling agent for me?
Yeah, but remind me what a concession is again.
Okay, and the concession is any type of credit towards the purchase in the end. So most people use a seller's concession to cover their closing costs, so they can put an offer. In this scenario, we'll use Gene presented an offer for your seller for a property for $325, and he needs a seller's concession of $10,000. So that puts it up to $335. But the property that you have listed is $455.
Maybe let someone go before me.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
No, okay. So basically, I want to be able to say like, if I give you such and such for 10,000, let's say, like if I do the roof for you, is that on the right page?
You're in the right avenue. All right, Jean, let's go. Me and you. So you presented your offer. What's your offer, Jean?
My offer was $3,025.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, $325.
Yeah,
with a seller concession of $10,000, so that put me at $335.
Okay. So at this time, my buyers would like to counter your offer. They have no problem with allowing you the full seller's concession, but we counter your purchase price at net to seller $342.
$342.
So at that point, what would be the, Rebecca, at that point, what do you think the next thing that we would need to negotiate?
I never actually did this, and I was actually wondering what that was. So if I have like a background, I don't mean to take anyone's time. I guess I could ask somebody individually, but I don't mind like making mistakes so somebody else could learn from my mistakes. So basically, I'm the selling agent, and did I answer the right question? Did I answer it correctly before?
Yeah, you did. Yep,
Oh,
you did.
Okay, and then he said, so he's the buyer, and then he said that he wants to offer 335. He counted 335 or no?
I counted 342.
Oh, 342. So
Mhm.
where do I, and now, don't I have to go down now? Or do I have to go up? What's the 455?
You
Where
have
did that come from?
the total purchase price was 350.
Right.
So you countered because you're with your client now. So your client is trying to get the bang for their buck. They're going to allow them to finance $10,000 of their closing costs, but you want to net yourself more money. So by you allowing them to get their full 10,000, you're looking to get closer to your bottom line. So you're countering for 342, which is your net, and then they can get their 10,000 for their seller's concession. So this is where Gene goes back to his client and says, they countered our offer. They would like to net 342 and they'll give us the $10,000. So
now, would it be smart for me to say, hey, they counted it 6,000 more? Or should I just leave it alone and just tell them, hey, they counted at 342?
No, you go back and you tell them exactly what the counter is. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to accept the counter. That doesn't mean that you take it and you walk away. I've been in plenty of situations, they counter and I'm like, listen, obviously if they're countering, they're interested. You have to gain their interest. So you gain their interest because they're giving you feedback. You could go to your client if you're in communication with your clients and their bottom line. That they could pay 350, but they want to save a little something. So this is when you say, listen, they countered us at 6,000. Let's try to you could ask for 3. You don't have to. You could go back and recounter again. It happens.
Right.
It happens all the time. I've done it. I've had it done to me on my listings. It's just how hard you want to play the game. That's why I said it's hot potato. That's why they're a good analogy of hot potato, because you're tossing it to them. They're tossing it back to you. You're tossing it at the end. You want to see who gets, who doesn't have their hand on it on the end.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you put that initial offer in, should you go like lower just based off the fact that they're probably going to counter?
No, not in all instances. You take a look at the property. I look at the comps, which I look at all the homes around the area. I look at how bad your clients want the property. A lot of clients, they try to lowball because they think that everything is a negotiation, which it is. But if it's a new listing, it's not that much that they're going to take off from a new listing. I tell my clients, listen, it's new, it's on the market, you like it, you love it. Why get into a back and forth counter battle or the option of you losing the property? If you can afford it and it's in your range, full price, you can get to negotiate, you can get to your inspections, you can get to the appraisal, and something could come up. Then you renegotiate.
And also you have to look at the market. Is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? If it's a buyer's market, your negotiation will be different.
Yep. And right now it's, I don't know. Right now, the market is a little up and
it's crazy.
It's crazy because some days I think it's a buyer's and then I go out and I go to a showing and there are 12 cars outside after, like, in between me. So I'm like, okay, maybe not a buyer today. Maybe it's a seller side today. You just got to put your best foot forward at all times and be willing to negotiate because you're going to do a lot of things now differently than you did before.
I have a question.
Yes.
I just had a customer. I was doing, my buyer made an offer and then he got a lender and the lender told him to get a seller's concession for the closing costs. So he was telling me that he thought that meant the seller paid for the closing costs.
No.
he insisted that the seller is going to pay for the closing costs because the lender told him to get a concession from the seller. So he didn't realize that it's just like an additional money that's added to his mortgage or to his
Yes.
loan amount.
Yes.
So
What
that,
happens with a seller's concession is it's an additional amount of money that is financed
Mhm.
onto the price of the house. So that means that just because the net, that's why I specifically said the net to the seller
Yeah.
is 342, because my seller wants to net 342. They don't
Right.
care about the 10,000 that you're going to finance. They want to be able to walk away closer to their goal. And a
So-
lot of times in this market now, sellers are very apprehensive about the seller's concessions being so high, because if the house doesn't appraise for that total value, then they feel that the buyer won't be able to move forward.
That's exactly what happened to mine, because it was the net amount plus actually he needed 25,000. So it was the net amount plus 25,000. So, but a lot of people didn't realize that you have to add that to the net amount. So it's 342 plus that 10,000. That's how much the buyer will have to finance. And of course, he wasn't able to do it financially. So, well, anyway, that fell through.
Yeah, so that happens. That's why I said. So we have the next part of it. You know, we basically did that, the hot potato scenario. So how things come up with the concession and how you return how you have to be able to go back and forth with the offer, with your offer and counter. You have to have the tactics in your brain on how you're gonna do it. They may not come up, they may and may not. But when you're dealing with concessions, it's always that chance that you say you ask for 10, but they say, because they're afraid of the market, they may say, hey, we only want you to get 5. And you have to be in a position with your clients to be able to move forward, or to step back, or to know, just, do we want to see how it goes, or do we have time to save up some more money? Because it's always at the seller's discretion if they want to accept your offer with a concession or not. So we can go to the next one. All right. Basically back to the 3 P's: prepare, present, and position, and to know your counter tactics. Because you're always ready, when you're preparing your offer, you definitely have to know what can go wrong, if anything, whether your offer is accepted, rejected, or countered. Those are all the 3 options in the prepare, present, and position. You have to know how to handle negotiations from both sides. It's not just, like I said, it's not just, from the buyer's perspective, the negotiations all the time, because, from the sellers is where you'll have to, once you get the offers in, you have to be able to know how to negotiate those offers to work for your sellers, because at the end, they know their net amount that they want to go into also. So when you have all these offers coming in, it's how you weed through them to get you closer to your bottom line. You can have a ton of lowball, offers, but you have to look at the terms, you have to look at the concessions, you have to look at, the timing, as we said before, when the people want to close, how soon can they close, what's the concession that they're offering, and then you weed out whatever deal looks the best for you. And then if you feel that you want to counter on that one particular deal, then you have to know your tactics on how you're going to counter to keep them engaged. Does anybody have any questions? You can always put them in the chat box, or if you think of them as we're going along. We can go to the next one. I don't know if you guys have if you have the workbook handy. There's like on page 15, they should have like a guide.
What workbook is this?
It's in the, you should have, when you register for the class, they sent out like, they sent out the
Material.
materials, like some of the slides that on there, they're like scenarios inside the book. Typically when you're in class and you're doing it, there's scenarios that you can go through working with a partner, and you work with groups. So I'm just kind of like overviewing some of them. Like the hot potato was one good scenario we were able to do.
Which
So,
page are you on, Delease? What page?
15.
15? Okay. I have it up on the screen, guys.
No, it's good, but I want to know if I need it in the future, like where I get it from.
I think it was emailed out this morning, I believe.
Yeah, it was emailed this morning.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, I think this one looks like 15. Can we just go back to the one above it? Sorry. So the slide here basically gives you, it's like a little role play. If somebody wants to read the buyer's agent role for me.
Sorry, I just lost it. It's all right.
I just passed it. Okay.
There we
Yeah,
go.
right.
Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Want me to start?
Yes, you can read the rise. Yep.
Your client has found the house they love and it's in the neighborhood they want. It is at the top of their price range and does need some work updating the kitchen and the master bathroom. Your client makes an offer on the property and the seller's agent says, I must warn you that we have gotten several offers and your offer is pretty low.
Okay. So does anybody have a scenario for me? How do you negotiate that one?
But you could ask them, hey, you know what are the offers that you received?
I can't tell you my offers at this time. Are you guys willing to do a new offer?
But I thought the seller or seller's agent had to tell you, hey, I'm receiving offers, but they got to tell you what's the highest that they received.
Nope,
I know
they do not.
Some agents do though. Is that illegal?
Nope, they don't have to. That's why, I don't know if whoever wasn't on in the beginning, that's why we have that new form, the escalation clause. That is a good thing for you to employ and start to use if you haven't. This form allows you room to raise your client's offer to the next tier, and also gives you an advantage, because if they're taking this, they have to disclose to you what the highest offer was.
Yeah, that's what I just asked you. Yeah, that's
with that form. Technically, if you're going back and forth with me, just say me and you are going back and forth in this scenario, I don't have to tell you what my highest offer is. I could tell you because I want to, but nothing is legally binding to me that I have to tell you what my highest offer is, or even if I have a highest offer.
gotcha.
But are you required to sign the escalation clause?
You're not required to sign it, but that gives you a leg up in the transactions for the market that we're in right now. That's a very good tool for you to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, like if your buyer doesn't want to lose a house over $5,000 or $10,000, you could use it, and you can say, "This is my offer." But if somebody has an offer a little more, I'll go 5,000 more.
Yeah,
and you can put a cap on it, so you could say, "This is the most I would spend," and they have to show you the other offer just to show that they really did have one, because they could just say they did, you know.
Right.
Wouldn't
So
they
it's up to
be,
your client, really.
by doing the escalation clause though, wouldn't that kind of like give them an opportunity to take advantage? Like, let's say, oh, so they're willing to go this much higher. Like, can they just like use that against you? And
That's why they
I'm
have
kind
to
of thinking
show.
like,
yes. Go ahead,
you know what
Eileen.
I would say that's why they have to show you the offer. They can't just say, "Oh yeah, somebody called me today," and they have that. You need to see the offer letter. You're not just going to pay more money for no reason. You know, they
Yeah,
need
it's
to
not
show.
it's not enforceable unless they show you what they have. That it does that, or they automatically can't play to that card to use it. It can't be enforceable unless they show you the competitive offers for over your price. then
In
you
writing.
can invoke in writing. Then you can invoke your escalation clause to say, hey, my client is willing to go $3,000 over the highest asking price. This is
Okay.
our escalation clause.
All right.
It must say
Makes
it in
more
there. I'm
sense.
gonna look at it.
Yeah, I think it's the verbiage is a little like tricky. That's what I said. I had to play with it. I printed it out myself and I pretended like I was the, like both parts or whatever. But it's definitely a good tool to use now, so you don't have to kind of keep going back and forth. You have, you deal with, you have a
Delease, I don't hear you.
mastermind.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
What kind of?
Oh, something happen?
You're good now. So the
Oh.
escalation clause came from Lori Burns on Monday. Last Monday, she emailed it out. So look for an email from Lori Burns. It's called Escalation Rider to offer to purchase. It's also found in the OP updates page.
Yes.
She also put the file in there.
Yes, it's definitely a tool that is definitely very helpful in this market that we're in, and it helps you. It can definitely help you with your negotiations, because as we just saw here in our scenario, they said, "Oh, we got a few offers." Yeah, you can always tell me that you got a few offers, but if I have this form in front of me, my client is willing to go to this point, but you have to show me your cards. It's
And
like
you can
we're
also
going
find it in .loop and DocuSign, just so you know.
Hot loop. Okay.
Yep. All right, we can go to the next one.
I
So,
think
So is that the only way to handle that scenario?
I mean, it's up to you knowing your buyer. If you know that that they can afford it, but they don't really want to. It's kind of a back and forth thing. That's like, you have to educate yourself on your buyer, the neighborhood that you're buying, the comps in the area. You want to go into your negotiations fully equipped with all the proper, like you say, they say go out with the proper PPE. You want to go out with all the things that you need when you go out there to present your offer, so you can make sure that your offer is going to stand out.
Yeah, and it's up to your client. You explain to them the options, and you know what's going on now, and you give it up to them as an option.
Yes, it's always, it's always in the end, it's how bad they want the house. It's how they want to negotiate. You're following what they want to do. As long as you're knowledgeable to give them the tools to make the best decision, and you kind of got to sit back and wait and, see if they make the right decision. Sometimes it takes a couple of no's for them to really get it and, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do this. I've had clients like that. I've had clients that I've been dealing with almost a year now, that they had one good house. They went to inspections. They did everything. The contracts were sent out the day before my clients were supposed to sign. Someone came in and put a cash offer for the property. They were like so devastated, and they kind of like, oh, well, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then, they found other properties that they liked. But then when they found that final one, they were like, no, we're going full price. We're going to do inspections the next day. This is what they're going to do. So you got to just, give them all the information, and you hope for the best. But as long as you negotiate to the best of your abilities, you put all your things ahead, you prepare, you present, and what was it? Prepare, present. I forgot what the last one was. Position. You state your position and your ground where you are, and everything else will fall into place as long as you have everything up front, and you'll get it. And negotiation is never over. You're always in a constant negotiation. So
even if you lose it, I found even if you lose an accepted offer, you don't know what's going to happen. Somebody may pull out, and they call you up a week later and say, "Oh, you guys are back in." You just don't know.
Yep, totally. That is so true, and it has happened. Especially a lot of homes now are going back on the market because sadly they had under contracts with people, and due to COVID, they lost their jobs. So now these properties that you thought you were gonna get sold, or you were looking at 3 months ago or 2 months ago, they're back on now. So now it's game on again. Now you got to start out and put your best foot forward. So say, you put your best offer in the front and you wish it well. That's all you can do, at that point. Mm-hmm. And it's always good to practice.
But we're losing you, Delease, a little bit.
Scripts or daily habits. Do you still hear me?
Yeah, repeat what that last
Hello?
sentence or two. We
Oh,
lost you on
okay.
the last two sentences.
Oh, okay. So I was saying their daily, their scripts that are inside your manual. You know, you got to practice them. If you don't have a script partner, it's always good. You know, if anybody wants to shoot me a call after or just get my email, I'll put my email. Arlene, if you could put my email in the chat box.
Sure. What is it, Delease? I'll put it in.
Delease Jenkins at KW.
Okay, that's easy.
Yep, very easy. I do a lot of role plays. We can go back and forth. It's good. You know, I throw out all fake kind of scenarios, but it's good and it keeps your mind rolling. And practice the scripts. There are tons of scripts through, you know, online. Watch the YouTube, the channel, and the videos. And it's definitely anybody you'll call up, they'll definitely want to help you through scenarios and, you know, negotiations. And, you know, as you look through your lead generation, you know, follow up with your contacts. And there are practice contracts that you can look over and read so you can see like the scenarios into contracts. Whereas if it's a sale contingency, some people have to sell their home, you know, sell their previous home before they can buy a new home. Some sellers put a contingency that in order for them to sell their house to you, they have to be under contract at another house. So that's another negotiation. How long are you going to let them take for the sale process to happen? Or like we went through with the seller's concessions, you know, and things like that. That's another, you know, negotiation that you have to go through. So we can go to the next one.
Sure. And actually, I was going to say, you can actually have a lower offer, but if somebody else has a contingency, like they have to sell their house first, I bet that person would get it over that. So you just never know. Throw it out there.
That's why I said I always employ the thing of I try everything once. That's my key to everything. You know, you try it, you'll never know, as opposed to always ask questions. You know, open-ended questions get you more answers than closed-ended questions, because a yes or a no is not gonna, you know, be like, you know, nobody's gonna give you any more information, so you don't have anything to pull from if you don't ask, you know, a tons of questions. And the next one is just, you know, set goals to set your career. You know, add 10 contacts a day. Make sure you're having 10 conversations, 10 handwritten notes. A lot of people love writing notes. I started to write some notes during all this. I send little thank you cards out. I send my cards to my other clients that, you know, a large part of my business I do is based off of referrals. So when I sell a house or I send a little thank you gift, I send a couple of cards or I say hello. You know, Father's Day, I sent out cute little, you know, Father's Day pins, and I attached some of my cards. I was like, you know, can you pin this on a new dad that you know? So then, you know, people who have a new family, they would love to buy a new house. So I'm like, hey, it's always creative. And that's a negotiation tactic, how you're going to negotiate your next, you know, your next prospect. So it's, you know, and preview homes, even though you don't have it, even if you don't have any business now or you're new to the business, preview houses. That's what I did in the beginning. I went out and I previewed houses that were, you know, that they're for sale by other agents. I look around, you know, I'll take a picture or take a post, you know, and it gets you familiar with the industry, what's out there in your market, and then how you learn the language to talk to other people. I mean, the overall goal is to get to your first contract and to get to your closing. And everything else is learning how to negotiate the tactics. Everything in commands, if everybody's using, hope everybody here is using commands or trying to learn commands or watching the videos. Eileen just showed you the KW page. They have the YouTube on there for the command. It helps you track your business. It helps you track your contacts. And if you're keeping track of everything, it's very helpful to run and grow your business, because then you know where you are. And the health of your database helps you also, because then that lets you know what areas you need to get more information. So if you have an address for someone but don't have a phone number, this is how you know, well, hey, you know what? Let me send them a postcard in the mail. Then you can drum up conversation from them there. We're coming to the end, guys. We're almost there. So the next one we talk about scripts. Is one of the daily habits is memorizing and analyzing scripts. Practice. Like I said, you have to practice. You know, everything takes time. As you go to a doctor, the doctor learns the anatomy, has the works with patients, they talk. Agents learn scripts to prepare for conversations with people. So even though I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking at this little script that they gave me. So I'm learning and I'm putting it into my memory. So when I do this again, it'll be in my memory. So that's a script that I'm learning to practice as in teaching this class. So when you're dealing with your clients, you have a script written down, and over time, you won't have to read it from the paper anymore. You'll learn how to negotiate. Like all things will just run off your mouth and you won't even believe that you said this and you said that. And then people will look at you like, wow, oh my gosh, she's good at this. But then you realize you had to practice. Everything is practice. Even if you have kids at home, negotiations with your kids are hostile. Sometimes they're good. These are the same type of negotiations when you're dealing with clients, because sometimes you have to handhold them. I handhold my clients. I tell them from the beginning, our first meeting, so we get to the closing table, because they're still looking at me so scared, like, are we going to close? Can we close? Can we do this? Can we do that? They say, I can get it. And your clients are just as grateful, and they're like babies coming to you. So it's how you get them the information out there. They'll always respect you as long as you put out the information and you be genuine and you be sincere about it. It'll show through your character, and it'll definitely help you with your transactions. I definitely find that in all of my negotiations. And your lead generating, uncover your motives, identifying certain objects, you close deals, you speak in terms that your customers understand. Sometimes when I say sales concession, they're like, what? A who? So I have to say, this is money that you can get to pay for your house. If you don't have the money, so you have to kind of, you in a sense, you kind of dumb it down. That kind of sounds bad, but you got to talk in a language that they can understand. You don't want to go to a doctor and they're telling you, oh, your esophagus, this and this angle of this. You're going to be like, what? So you want to be able to understand, and somebody can understand and relate to you on the same terms. So you meeting your client where they are in the middle. So every client is different. Some client wants all the big fancy words and they want all the legal terms. And some of them are like, listen, is this going to get me a house or not? And that's how you got to do it. I have some clients who don't want to meet. They don't show me the house. If you think it's good, then I'll buy it. Or you know who you're dealing with. And build confidence in yourself. Don't think, Rebecca, how you said the foreclosures. Girl, go into it like the foreclosures like the back of your hand.
Right.
One good thing that Rosemary said to me, and she said during, I think it was to me, or we had a conference, she was doing the very beginning. I pretend like you know it all. They're not going to know you don't know unless you tell them you don't know. So have the confidence in yourself.
Without knowing what was going on. Yes, that is 100% true. I did that.
And then you always have a fallback. Always have a person that you can call. All the offices are very well. There's always someone in some office that you can reach out to. Someone, build a spear. You should have it. You should have that 1, 2, 3, 4 people that you can call. It's in the text message to pick their brain. Hey, this is my scenario. I do it now. I've picked brains of like, hey, can I text you? I have something I need to ask. Can you tell me what I should say about this? And they give it to me. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I didn't think about that.
You know what else is a good resource is our Facebook page. We either have the OP updates page, which covers all the market centers, or each market center has their own page, depending on your needs. And you can put the question out there, and somebody experienced, if they know, they will answer you.
Yeah.
So you can seem like a genius, basically.
Yeah. That I did it recently. I think we have the have and the have-nots. Like I have like a bunch of clients who are looking, and I'm like, hold on, I need this XYZ this. And even myself in doing this class, I was having trouble with sharing my screen. I'm like, Eileen, I need help. I'm like, I can't share. She's like, no, I'll share.
That's why we're here.
You saved my life. It's just,
or if you need like a certain kind of inspector or something, somebody else has had the problem that you had before, just put it out there and let's see who answers you, Don't be shy.
This shyness cannot exist here.
Bye, everyone. I'll see you next time.
Bye. Good luck, Rebecca.
Thank you, everyone, for all your help. Everyone who joined. You were all so helpful. Bye.
Yeah, we're coming down to the end. A lot of this stuff is just basically scripts and role play. Like I said, if you don't have a role play partner, or you don't even know what role play is because you're so new, find somebody. Feel free. I'm available in between doing whatever that I'm doing just a little tidbit about myself right now. Today I had a free day. I said, I'm going to teach this class. I'm going to be free the day. My clients that I've been working with for so long got an accepted offer on a property last night that I showed them yesterday. They were like, can you do inspections tomorrow? I'm like, okay, great. Okay, call my inspector. What time are you free? Finally, that was one of our my tactics, because I was like, listen, my clients can inspect immediately if you accept my offer. Look at me putting my big foot in my mouth when I said immediately we can inspect. She was like, all right, tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I can make it work. Lo and behold, only time my inspector had was 1 o'clock. And I'm like, he's like, well, she's at 1 and 1:30. I'm like, okay, fine, 1:30. So mind you, my inspection is over, but I'm still sitting here and I'm doing my class from outside of my inspection, even though it's over. So when you negotiate, you know, you got to be willing, you got to be aware, because it could come back good and it could come back bad. But I made it work. I'm still doing the class. I'm still actively engaged with you guys, and I got an accepted offer and inspections.
You pulled it off, Delease, for sure.
So right, all in one day, when I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna get this day done and do everything? But it happens. You got to be in it to win it. So that's what I say. And I mean, I use my scripts. I use them on myself. I use them on my kids. My husband is also an agent also, so I use them on him. You know, when he doesn't want to listen, I'm like, listen, just you pretend you buying this house from me. So it's good to use the scripts because after time it becomes regular language to you. So it's not a script. You know, even when you're trying to drum up a new business or just having basic conversations, you'll realize that even these real estate scripts can go with your everyday life. And they, you know, everybody knows we have the do not call lists, and, you know, please pay attention. Those are big fines. Do not call registry now, especially since we're still under the executive order. So you can't call anybody right now for business until I think it's like September or something like that. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, it's until September something. So, yeah. But you can call people in your sphere, people that you know, any past clients, people, you know, anyone that you've known already, you can call.
Where can we find the do not call list?
Yes.
Where can we find the do not call list?
The do not call list usually is updated every few months. I don't know. I haven't seen it recently, but at this point you can't call anyway. So you can't call anybody.
Yeah, you can't call anyway. You're right. Now it's not. I think it's like September 20th or something like that it's not. You know, you can't do. You can always call anybody that you have in your phone, your regular sphere of contacts, but you can't go out drumming for new business.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. You can't put a fake. Anyway.
Right. You can always, you know, mark it on your page, say, hey, how you doing? Post a picture of a house. Stuff like that is okay, but you can't verbally call someone.
And you can send them mail. You could send them a postcard or something. You just can't call.
You just can't call.
For places that we see on the MLS, we can contact those people though, or is it still no?
What do you mean by?
So like, let's say there was FSBO. Are we able to reach out to them if it was?
No.
Okay.
No FSBOs right now. No FSBOs. If anybody don't know, for sale by owners, that's still soliciting and that's marketing. Unless you made prior contact with this person before and they were in their phone because you were doing something with them before, then yes. But if it's your first time calling, looking to gain a listing or something with them, you're not allowed to call them.
And no expireds. I know that's a big one too for the newer agents. No expireds.
No expireds. Trust me, it's rough.
Yeah, and just be careful, because an agent in her office, she was new and she didn't really understand, I guess, and she called this man, and he actually makes a living off of suing agents that call him. So I forgot how much she had to pay. It was like, I think it was like $5,000 or something. So you just don't want to be. Most people will just either not answer or hang up, but this guy made it his life purpose to go back at the people. So
for the trap.
You don't want that to be you.
Yep. So I just have one more thing, or two more things. So we have the affirmation message that you say out loud. I always come from contribution. People will welcome my call. Now, that's something that you say to yourself when it's the call time. I always come from contribution. That's my goal. That's my goal in real estate for myself, my own personal. because I want to be able to add value to someone's life, through a home sale. You want to say that you've done something that you can add value to someone's life, and value doesn't have to be something, substantial. You can help a family get from one neighborhood to another, or a better school district. That's you coming from contribution. That's you adding value to someone else's day or life. Contact updates. Like I said, if you're using Command in your database, always make sure you have your database updated, new numbers, emails, and if they're in your database, you can call them. So it's definitely, not that you cannot call them.
So you can call like your neighbors, your family, friends, people that, Chanel, you new in real estate, or you've been doing real estate? Right. So this is the time you can post on Facebook. You can let people know, hey, how you doing? I just joined real estate, and that's okay.
Okay, that's all I've done so far.
Yeah, and that's all you're allowed to do. So yeah.
That's all you're allowed to do. If you have postcards, little note cards, if you're out to like the dollar store and stuff like that, they have the little note cards in there. I found myself, if you send me your email, I can find, I don't really remember where I got the script from. I think when I took Bold the very first time when it was actually out, they gave like a little script of like who you are, you're new to real estate. I kind of jazzed it up a little bit. I took some of that, took some of my own thing. And then I started to text it to everybody in my cell phone. But then people who I had their addresses, I mailed them a card and I put my little verbiage in there. And I sent out maybe like 75 postcards. It's always good, just keep your mind, keep your time. But it may not always pay off right at that minute, but I guarantee that eventually things will start happening and you'll start getting a consistent flow. And you can use Command to do that too. You can add conversations and notes, and it'll help you keep track of who you need to contact again. Lastly, they have here is like a little survey of, if you need help on Commands or whatever.
You done?
The Keller Williams University, and also the Keller Williams group, the training page where you can go to all the YouTubes, our YouTube channel, all the Ignite classes, and the calendar. If you're not plugged in with the calendar, you definitely need to. There's so many important things in the calendar. And lastly is that my little survey link there. So if you have it, please definitely give me a little feedback on this, on the
Let me put it in the chat.
Okay. On how you went. I hope that I helped someone today. I did my best. I hope it was good. Like I said, I'm always available. I'm in a lot of negotiations right now, so I can definitely put my real life negotiation tactics for you guys. If you need a hand, you need a script partner, definitely reach out to me. I'm out of the Middletown office, but I'm always around through, send me an email. I'll shoot you my cell phone number. Let's stay in contact. You never know. We can help each other. I'm always looking to help anybody. Hopefully when the world opens back up, some of my listings can get some open houses. You never know. Yep. So I thank you all. I thank you, Eileen, so much for being my helper today. You helped me.
No problem. Thanks, Delease. You did a great job by the side of the road today. I'll tell you that.
I know, right? Thank goodness. But everyone stay safe and take care. And I appreciate you guys for coming to the class today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Eileen. Bye-bye.
Take care, Delease.
Bye-bye.